Hello all, hello again. Uh, Welcome again to the AI Cloud and Modern Workplace Conference 2024. We are delighted to have you here and we hope you enjoy this online event. We have a very exciting agenda for all these 3 days with speakers from different background and perspectives who will share their insights and experience on how AI and cloud computing are transforming the way we work and the life. Before we dive into the session, we have a very, very special guest for the fourth presentation for today. Let me share a few things about her. Is an excellent professional, a specialist with many years of experience and contribution to the community. I know her very well because we collaborating closely for many years in the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program, and she helped us a lot in every action that we did it in the past. She's expert. She's a pioneer in the field of modern workplace and M365 and Copilot. She's passionate, empowering all of us to achieve more. And let me share with you that our very, very special guest is Vanessa Antoniadou, modern workplace sales specialist at Microsoft Greece, Cyprus, and Malta. Vanessa, I would like to express our immense appreciation for your presence at our every conference. You are the speaker that you join us every time. You help us a lot. I know that you are super busy and you have to do a lot of work, but you are every time here and you support us. I would like to a big thank from our heart. The stage is yours. I don't want to keep the audience. A secret. I want to see all the features of the Copilot. Okay, I'm using Copilot, but I cannot share, so I'm waiting from you to to share all the new features and everything new that we have in M365 Copilot.
First of all, Constantino, a big thank you to you for putting all this thing together. I was discussing with a colleague how much effort it takes to get all the speakers, to put the content, to organize this. And yes, our history goes way back from the Learn Ambassador times, and I'm always super happy to work with you and support. And you know, I always love the content of your conferences. It's always aligned to my passion, and I'm happy to be with you today. As we discussed, of course, especially given to what we have been focusing on the last 1.5 years, if I say so, maybe 1 year mostly. The topic of my presentation couldn't be anything else than Copilot for Microsoft 365. Just 1 second.
We can see everything okay. We can see your screen. We can see your presentation. Now you share again, please, because we lost it. We just lost it.
Just 1 second. I'm sharing again, and let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see your presentation now. A white page we can see.
Okay, yes. You can see it now. So throughout history, humanity have lived through many innovations, from fire to steam engine to the internet. And now we may call it as the shift, the AI shift innovation. And with this, we have seen the many Copilots from Microsoft announcements coming the last 1 year. When we say Copilot, and it's not a random choice of word, Copilot, and it's not an autopilot, it's a Copilot. It's an experience where we use Gen AI technologies to assist us with more cognitive and complex tasks like summarization, like transformation of documents, giving us insights and creating information for us. If I go back about 15 months ago with ChatGPT, people in a very short period, within a few days, the whole world became familiar with Gen AI technologies and LLMs. And within a few weeks, almost the entire world knew and was experimenting with ChatGPT. Moving from November 2022 to March 2023, Microsoft announced the Copilot for M365. But what was the thinking and the reasoning behind this innovation that we have announced? As we have seen what the Gen AI and LLMs could do, our vision was to create the next generation AI assistant, an assistant that can work by our side, understand our type of work, our documents, be right there available to us as we work throughout our day. So from the announcement of Copilot for M365 back in March 2023, we're now at the phase where we have this technology available for everyone to use. But how it actually works? It uses the same type of technology as ChatGPT, so large language models. But what it does, it combines this power with your own data, information from Microsoft Graph. And when we say Microsoft Graph information, it's information that sits in the Microsoft 365 environment, being your emails, your Teams chats, your meeting content, your files on OneDrive, your content on the SharePoint of your organization, combined with information that it's outside on the web and available to you right within the Microsoft 365 applications, being Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, Loop, and all the 365 environment. And the most amazing thing is that you can interact with it using natural language, making it intuitive on how to use and making it accessible for everyone to use it. So how it actually works, if we start from the top left corner, the user can send the prompt to the Copilot. You can see the Copilot right in the middle as the orchestrator. Copilot receives the prompt and then it sends the prompt first to the Microsoft Graph. This is what we call pre-processing. And this is to make sure that it actually changes the prompt in a way that it will provide more meaningful answer to you, and it connects it with other services, like for example CRM or the web, and then it sends it back to Copilot in the middle, the orchestrator as we call it, to send it to the LLM that will provide the answer. But before sending it to the user, it will send it again back to Microsoft Graph in order to make sure that all the right controls are in place. So this is the point where we make sure that the answer includes information that the user explicitly has access to. And if, for example, two users in an organization ask the same prompt to Copilot, most probably they will get different answers. And the reason for this is because they have sent different emails, they are copied in different emails, they have access to different files. So they receive only the information they receive only includes content from the information they explicitly and the files they explicitly have access to. So this is the checks that we do during the post-processing before sending the response back to the user. In order to provide meaningful answers to the user, to the employee, and to have access to all that vast amount of information from the graph and so on, we combine the user prompt, the question that the user sends, with grounding data from the graph. We include chat history, and we create what we call a larger prompt that will provide a meaningful answer to the employee. But what is a prompt? And there is a lot of material around the art and science of prompting. Is the way you ask the question to Microsoft 365 Copilot. And there is a lot of material and a lot of training on how to do the right prompting. When we initially launched the Copilot, we expected that Gen Z would be it would be more easy for Gen Z to use this kind of technology. A few months later, and after working with some early access program customers around the world and releasing the first initial study, we saw from the results that what happened was actually exactly the opposite than what we expected. The more experienced users and the more executive users and the more senior professionals were actually better at using Copilot than younger generation. And the reason behind this is because it doesn't really take a lot of technical skills to use Copilot. What it takes is to be able to break down a task into components, because you can consider Copilot as a team of assistants, of content creators, of URPA, of copywriters, a team that is working you. So an experienced user was actually better at breaking down a task and assign that task to the team. So this is why the more experienced users were better. But what are the ingredients of a good prompt? We need to be very specific on what we ask Copilot to do for us. And we see many cases that we ask something and we don't get the result we wanted to get. So we try again and we change our prompts. And with practice, we start to understand that the more context we provide, the better results we get. We need to explicitly explain what is the goal. For example, provide me with a summary of last week's weekly business execution meeting. So we need to give explicit the goal. What is the context? Because depending on that, it will provide a more formal or informal answer. In this case, the context is that I need to use a prep for the executive committee meeting tomorrow. So based on this, it will prepare the right content. And if possible, I would also provide it with a source. If I omit the source, then it will look across my organization environment. So in this case, I'm asking it actually to check last week's meeting transcription for the answer. And what I'm expecting from Copilot to provide as an answer to me. So in this case, I'm asking for a concise summary of the financial metrics, including DBF, key deals, and risks. Based on the first survey that we released on the use of Copilot, we saw that Copilot's role was very important in helping us be more productive. So a lot of time saved from attending less meetings. Imagine that you had 2 parallel meetings happening on Teams and you had to join a year ago, you had to join one meeting and then watch the entire recording of the other meeting. Now, what you can do is actually ask Copilot to summarize it for you. So in 1 minute, you can actually get the summary of what was said at the specific meeting. But it also helps us provide better quality results, better presentations, better proposals, and so on. And it also helps us focus on more interesting tasks and avoid all this administration work, like getting all this information, creating drafts that we need to fine-tune for hours and hours. And let me move straight into the demo. So we can actually see in practice how it works. So first of all, I will start from ChatGPT, and I'll ask a very simple question. What is Copilot for Microsoft 365? As you can see, ChatGPT doesn't have any knowledge about Copilot because it has been trained with data up to January 2022, so before Copilot was announced. So what I'm looking to do here is I'm looking to use Copilot to ask the same question. And what I'm using now is Copilot and not Copilot yet for Microsoft 365 to ask the same question. So for organizations and employees that have Microsoft 365 E3 or E5 license, you all have access to Copilot through Bing. So if I ask the same question, what is Copilot for M365? So you see, it's providing an answer to me. It's looking actually to get this information, and the first source that's provided here is the web. So I'm using this as an example to explain what is the difference and what we are adding on top of LLMs like the ones used for ChatGPT, which is a consumer product, moving to a commercial product like Copilot. The most important thing is that you can see that this information here is protected. I'm logged in with my organization ID, and all the information provided on the prompt or as an answer is protected, which means I'm not exposing my organization or my data to any risks, and the information is not used to train the model. And it doesn't go outside of my boundary, no information is going outside my tenant environment. Also, what it does, it's a process we called web grounding. So it combines the information from the LLM, as we said before in the presentation, with information that it's outside on the web, update information from today. So it doesn't stop in January 2022. And on top, it provides a list of references. You can see it here if you hover over the numbers of where it got all this information from. So I can actually go and verify that this information is correct. Now, if we move to Copilot for Microsoft 365, I'm using for this demo, I'm using a demo environment just in case to make sure that no confidential information will surface from here. So it has limited information. And in this case, I'm logged in. The organization name, as you can see, is Contoso Electronics, and I'm logged in as Alex. What you see on the screen now is what we call as the hero experience, the Copilot chat. And we call it hero experience because this is our starting point. This is the place where we can go and ask a very generic question, and it has access to all the M365 applications. So I can go and ask something very generic like, can you please summarize my emails and chats from the past 2 weeks, split in emails and chats. So you see now it's trying to collect information and provide an answer to me. Imagine I was out of office for a couple of weeks and I'm back to the office. I have hundreds of emails and chats. So I want to quickly catch up from where I left. So I'm using this as a starting point. Okay, there are no chat messages because as I said, this is a demo environment. And you see, it provides me with a list. It's limited information due to the fact that there are very few emails, but I can go directly here. For example, if I go and click on this, I can see where it actually got this information from. And I can see the specific email thread that it is referenced. If I go back and I have, for the sake of time, I have written already the prompt so we don't lose time. So I'm looking to create an invitation for a customer to invite them to a presentation for a Copilot for M365. And I want Copilot to help me prepare the invitation and draft an agenda. And I want it to get information from for Copilot from the web. So I'm actually taking this web page here and adding it into the prompt. But first of all, I need to enable it as well to access web content first, because by default, it doesn't access web content. So now that I have enabled web content and I'm providing the link and I'm asking for help to prepare the draft invitation. It puts the information together. Now it checks on my tenant for information that it's on my tenant with a combination from the information on the web to help draft the invite and the agenda. As you can see, it describes what is Copilot for M365, an AI-powered productivity tool. This is all information that it got from the website. But, and you can see here the reference, that this information is actually from the website and from the link that I have provided. But here is the most amazing thing, that it actually built an agenda for me, a 1-hour agenda, as I explicitly asked it for. And in the website, as you can imagine, there is no agenda, but based on what Copilot is and how it works, it built an agenda to address this topic. And this is the idea of created content for you. You can imagine how much time this saves for you. Okay, best regards, Alex, because as I mentioned, I'm logged in as Alex, and I can straight copy this and go into Outlook and send this. If I now open my Outlook, you see an email from myself because I sent it from my Microsoft account to the demo environment. So you can see here a long thread of emails. Let's try and see if we can summarize this one. Okay, I'm using, as you can see, it provides me with the option to get the summary of this thread of emails. And I click on summary and it starts to create the summary for me. Of course, it again will provide me with references of the key summary points that I can quickly check. And if needed, I can go back and read the entire email. So here is a short summary of what was discussed in the entire email thread, and with a reference from which email it got the specific point. But then I want to reply back to them. So I'm using reply all to reply to this thread of emails. And I want to use Copilot to draft a response. In this case, I can, it also provides me with suggestions, but I can use a custom response. So what I'm going to do here is ask Copilot to draft an answer, to acknowledge the emails and ask for next steps. And I can also set the tone. I want a long email with a casual tone. And I will ask it to generate it for me. In any case, Copilot will never take any action on your behalf. You are always the pilot. So if I like the response, I can keep it. If I don't like it, I can edit it. Or I can exactly explain to Copilot what I want it to change. And I'm the only one who's going to send the email. Copilot will never send the email on my behalf. Now, if I move back, and let's go and find some documents that I have on my OneDrive. So here you can see a file on my OneDrive named Condoso Marketing Plan. So I'm opening this file and I want to use Copilot to edit and enhance a little bit this specific plan. As you can see, I see Copilot up on the right corner, and I'm pressing Copilot to open a Copilot interaction box next to the Word document. So I will ask Copilot to summarize this document for me. Can you please summarize this document? And as it works on the summary, let's go quickly through the document to see what is the actual content of the document. Company overview, target market, it's a marketing plan. What are the marketing objectives, strategies, budget, and implementation plan. As you can see, it provided a very short summary of the entire document. Now, I want to enhance it a little bit. So within the document, I see the Copilot button. I'm pressing the Copilot button and I ask it, I don't give it any specific instructions. I ask it to inspire me. So it will now provide suggestions based on its understanding and knowledge. So what it does, it says it provides some additional content because it believes that for such a plan, such a marketing plan, I should also include a SWOT analysis. And it actually elaborates and creates a SWOT analysis for me. So you can see the examples of strengths, weaknesses, threats, and so on. And I choose to keep it. Now, let's go. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the link of the specific document. And I'm going back and I will open a PowerPoint presentation. I'm opening a blank presentation. And what I want to do is use that specific Word document to create a presentation. So I'm opening Copilot in PowerPoint. It's still loading my presentation. Let me open it again. And until it opens that, I don't know why it's taking too long. Let me go back to my OneDrive and have also Excel open so we can work as well on the next task.
I got the chance to tell you that I'm using in the same way the Copilot to help me organize the conference in the same way, and it is amazing. I enjoy your presentation because I love Copilot. It helps me a lot to organize all these amazing events, posts.
And imagine there are two amazing things for me. One is that it saves a lot of time. Of course, the content and the actual result and the presentation might not be the best one, but imagine how long it would take you to actually create this material. So what it does, it removes the entire process of drafting a presentation, drafting a proposal, and what you actually end to do is just fine-tune the presentation, which imagine how many hours you can save from doing that. It's a little bit slow. I'm not sure why my internet is slow, but we can survive it, I think. So it just takes a little bit longer to load things than expected. So what I'm going to do here, I'm asking it to create a presentation from file, and I'm pasting the link of the file, of the Word file that we were using before. I copied the link before, and I'm pasting here the link to the file. So now I actually provide explicitly to Copilot where to get the information from to build the specific presentation, and it's putting the things together in order to build the presentation for me. It will start initially by creating an outline of the presentation. What this presentation is going to include. So this is the first and initial step. And then it will go on. You can see it actually tells you what it does at any given moment. So it's still now working on it, building the content. I will leave it here and I will move to Excel and we can come back to it. So I have this Excel file. Condoso company is actually a company that sells bicycles. It's a sample company. And you can see this file with the inventory of bicycles of the company. You can see there are the models, how many bicycles are in stock, production cost, what is the sale price of the specific bicycle. So I'm going to open Copilot now. And I'm going back to the presentation and hopefully, it's okay. It's taking a little bit longer than expected. So I'm going to actually start. I will start again. So what I'm going to do here, first of all, I need to select the table. I need to click somewhere within the table to use Copilot, and I will ask it to create a column to estimate what is the profit. This is a great way to use advanced functionalities of Excel. So we can all become like expert users of Excel. And this is something I hear very often from marketing teams. So there's so many things about Excel, but I don't know how to use all of this functionality. You always search on how to insert the formula, how to calculate it, and so on. So I will ask it to do it for me. Can you please add a column to calculate profit margin? So now it's trying to create the formula to estimate the profit. You can see there is a current price in the table and there is a production cost column as well. So it gives me a suggestion for the formula to estimate profit margin. So it says current price minus production cost divided by the current price, which is actually correct. So I ask it to insert the specific column. And we can do even additional stuff. I have a few more prompts here that we can use. I can ask it to highlight. I want to see if there is a specific category of bicycles that I'm not making a profit. So I want to highlight where profit is below 0. So let's see if it will be able to do that. And you see it highlighted in red, all the lines where profit is below 0. And I can even ask it to do something more advanced. So I'm copying the prompt. And I ask it to estimate what would be my profit margin if I reduced the production cost only for the category of road bikes. As you can see, there are different categories of bikes. There is road, and if I move down, there is mountain, and so on. So I ask it only to reduce the production cost for the category of road bikes. and to estimate the new profit. So let's see if it can do it correctly. Now, okay, I have it as a table. It couldn't do it. I can ask it again. Some of the things might not work, especially here as expected, because I'm using a demo tenant for this case. But let's go and ask something else, and we can actually see something different. So, can you please show me some insights? I'm not specific here, so it will actually put together some insights that Copilot believes might be useful for me. So as you can see, it gave here some suggestions. Let's add it in a new sheet to see what insights it has created. So it built a chart for me to see what is the price and what is the total price for each category of bicycles. Now, let's go back and see if we can make PowerPoint work. So if I open Copilot, I think it will. I'm having some issues with my PowerPoint, so most probably I will not be able to work on PowerPoint. But I can show you an example. If it doesn't work, I'll show you an example of a previous presentation I have made using Copilot. On OneDrive. This presentation was actually created before from the same file by Copilot. It's working now, so you can see it's creating an outline for the presentation. So what the contents of this presentation is going to be. It also includes the last part that we created using Copilot, the SWOT analysis, as part of the content of the presentation. And now it's putting the slides together for the presentation. And it created a 20-slide presentation that it actually got information from the Word file we've seen before. And if you see here, it also created speaker notes that I can use when I present this presentation. And I can ask it as well to do different things. Like, for example, can you please change the color of all the slides titles to green? Let's see if it will be able to do that. So I'm very specific now on what I'm asking it to do. As you can see, the titles are black, and let's see if it can make it green as instructed. Of course, I could I could go and use PowerPoint to do that, but imagine how easy it is to interact with natural language. And even if I'm not an advanced PowerPoint user, I can still do things like that or I can ask it to add an extra slide with specific content and so on, or even make a slide more wordy or less wordy, add pictures and so on. Okay, I'm going to stop here because it's taking a little bit longer. And I'm going to stop share. Just a few things where to get started. On Microsoft Learn, you can find a lot of content on how to use generative AI technologies. And on Microsoft Work Lab, there is great material on how you can, about the art of prompting, how you can structure the right prompt, how to use tools for all the tools of M365, how to use Copilot for these tools. But imagine if Copilot can unlock all these capabilities for us, what it can do for people with accessibility issues, like people who have difficulties in reading or hearing and so on. Costantino? I hope this gave you a little bit of taste of what Copilot can do for you. And then imagine if you, it's not just, you can even expand Copilot and connect it to different systems and actually enrich the entire experience and what it can do for you.
Vanessa, a big thank for your presence in our conference. I would like to share with you that I got messages not in public, but in my mobile during your presentation, and they asked me, how can I have a license of Copilot? I think that it was an amazing presentation. I saw different approaches that I didn't try it again. Also, I have a proposal, keep it the proposal, we will discuss in the future further. We need a place to store all these prompts that we send in Copilot, yes, and that are very, with a successful results. I would like to have.
I didn't have a time to go through it, but because this is working with early access program customers, and I was working with 7 of them. This is one of the feedback we got, that it's very difficult to do the prompting. So what Microsoft actually did, they created the Copilot Lab, and this is a library of prompts, because usually employees do not know where to get started, how to start using it. So you actually have a library, and at the moment it's just the Microsoft library. But what Microsoft is looking to do is enable organizations in the future to create their own libraries of prompts with their own prompts for their organization that makes sense for them.
Vanessa, a big thank for everyone. I would like to express once again my immense appreciation, because you are always here and support us, you help us, you advise us, you consult us. What I have to say about you, your valuable help. A big thank from all of us. We have to move to the next slot. A big thank from all of us.
A big thank you, and best of luck for the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.